Hello everybody, we are David and Angela Wallace. Welcome to our channel, Wallace Way of Life. So Angela and I got married in October of 2003. She was 20 and I was 21. We have a pretty cool story. We met down on the beach in Florida. And I moved up here to Tennessee, and the rest is history. Never would have imagined a few years later having all these kids running around in Tennessee, but life is good.
So we had our oldest, Austin. He's 12. He was born in 2008. We really didn't imagine we would adopt, I don't think, when we first got married. We just thought that we would have, all these children. And we had Austin, and when I was pregnant with Austin, I saw a video online about Haitian orphans that just broke my heart. And that's really where God started pricking my heart. And David came home from work that day, and I was probably extra emotional because I was pregnant, but he came home from work, and I was like, I really think we're going to adopt one day. And he was like, okay. Anyway, we had Alexa then, our biological daughter, who is 8, in 2011, and we always kind of said that we would have 2 or 3 of our own, and then we would adopt the rest. And when she was about, 2 years old, almost 2 years old, we started our first adoption journey.
Samuel's adoption, we started in 2013. Gosh, it was a roller coaster. Angela did most of all the paperwork. She's on top of it when it comes to paperwork.
Organizational.
Organized, and I'm not, so she did a better job at that. If it was up to me, we would have never done it. But Angela got it all done. We raised, $37,000, $40,000.
Mm-hmm. We had no money.
We had no money when we started. We didn't even have the application fee, which was $500. We didn't even have that, and so we lived in a tiny little house, a little 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, 1,200 square feet. And I kept telling Angela, we just need to pray about it. We just need to pray about it. We don't have room. I don't know if it's right now for our family. And she came to me one day and she's like, David, when are you just going to be done praying about it? And we'll just do it. I don't think we need to pray about it anymore. And she was right. And so, as the father of the household, you want to make sure you have everything in line before you bring home another child. But anyway, the Lord provided miraculously. We really got to see the Lord move in ways I've never seen it. It was unbelievable. And before you know it, we were headed to China. How long did it take? So I don't remember.
It took about 2 years, right at 2 years. It was August 2015 when we met Samuel. And we went to his orphanage to meet him. And we walked in and rounded the corner, and there he was with his foster mom.
All the other kids were back there with where they were supposed to be, not Samuel.
He had escaped the room he was supposed
to
be
away.
in. But he never cried, never. He was wild. Goodness, he was wild in China. As a matter of fact, I thought when we were in China, I'm not sure how we're going to handle him when we get home. I'm never going to be able to go out in public
again. Would go out to eat and eat dinner, and he would throw plates and his food and forks. I mean, he'd never been into a restaurant.
He broke his spoons.
The first night.
It was crazy. But we brought him home. He calmed down a lot, and he really integrated into our family like he'd always been here.
We literally got off the airport, off the plane in Knoxville. Samuel skipped along. We've got a video of it, skipping along with the kids down the road to our car, and he acted like he was always part of the family. Yeah. And that's just how the Lord.
He acted like he was home. It was really crazy. So immediately after, because it seemed so easy. I don't want you to think adoption is easy. I mean, we definitely had our issues. He's very mischievous, and he loves to get into stuff, but he's probably one of the happiest kids you'll ever meet. He's just always smiling. He just loves life. But we got home shortly after. We knew that China, we couldn't really go back yet because he had just come home, and the trip was hard, being away for 2 weeks. And so after much prayer, And really, I'm always the one dragging you into it.
Let's do foster care.
After much prayer,
No!
we started foster parent classes in just a few months after he came home. So on May the 19th, 2016, I had actually just booked a condo to go to the beach, and we were going to go to Florida to see our family.
Who we hadn't seen in forever.
No, we hadn't seen him in forever because of our adoptions. You know, Dave didn't have any vacation, and because of Samuel's adoption. But I had just booked it that day, and within the hour, I got a phone call from Department of Children's Services, and they had a 1-month-old little girl, and they wanted to know if we would take her. And so I called Dave. So yeah, within the hour, we were going to the DCS office to pick her up, and here she was. We had nothing for a baby. We had a pack and play. That was about all that we had, and that's kind of how foster care is. You know, you don't know. You can get a call at a moment's notice. You don't have anything. You don't know what age you're getting. You don't know. You have no idea, and you literally have 30 minutes to prepare or less sometimes. So I called my mom and I said, I need you to come get my credit card, and I need you to go to Walmart because we're getting a little girl and I don't have anything. I don't have anything for her. And so, my mom jumped into action, and friends started bringing stuff over for her, and it was just...
And she was the sweetest little tiny baby ever. I was instantly in love with Lyanna.
Yeah.
From the moment we all laid eyes on her,
beautiful.
We were all in love.
Smitten with her. And we knew, we went into it open to anything. So if she only stayed for a little while, we were open to that. And it was hard because for 3 years we didn't know. We didn't know if she would stay or if she would go. And so you're really just laying your heart out there and you're loving. But God taught us so much through that about just surrender your children to Him. And, He really just taught me that she is His first and He loves her more than I ever could love her. But in the middle of foster care,
what did we do next?
we went back to China.
Oh yeah. Why not?
We went back to China. So, and Lyanna was just maybe a couple weeks from turning 2 at the time, and she had just learned to sit up. She couldn't crawl, she couldn't walk, she was not really verbal at all. And the only thing that said in our file was that she had developmental delays. That was pretty much it. And at first we said no. Well, I did. Believe it or not. Well.
And I said yes.
No, you didn't. I think I said no and you agreed.
Yeah, I definitely agreed.
I said no because we knew there was something.
Really, until we got to China, to fast forward once we got to China, I know I'm skipping ahead, and she was placed in our arms, that's when we were just like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with Lyanna.
Yeah. By the time we got her, it was a year to the day. So the day I sent the message to the lady and said, okay, we will adopt her, we said yes. It was exactly a year later on that day. But she was like holding a floppy
baby.
A floppy
a
3-year-old. Her feet just hung. She had no muscle tone she couldn't even chew. I mean, it was a lot. But she is the happiest, sweetest, soft-spoken, just good-natured. I mean, she's our easiest kid.
She's our easiest child.
She's our easiest child. So we went to China, got Lyanna, finally was able to adopt Nara after 3 years in foster care and living with our family. And we'll do an in-depth video. If you just follow us and subscribe to our channel, we'll do some in-depth videos about each of their adoptions, because there's lots of special just ways that God just really showed up and has blessed us over and over again. But so now
we're done. We're done with our family.
No, we're not.
We're big enough.
Never say no. 'Cause you
Listen,
never know what God's gonna do.
It's always crazy around here. So why not add a little bit more? It's not gonna make that big of a difference.
So we're going back, and this time, honestly, it's because of Lyanna.
Yeah.
It's because of her that we are going back, and we are adopting a little girl that we have named Eva Kira Lee Wallace. She is 3 years old. She'll be 4 this August. She's in China, and she has Down syndrome. And
she's in a place no one's ever heard of. This little city in China called Wuhan. Can you imagine?
Wuhan. Has anybody ever heard of that?
We said yes to this little girl in Wuhan, and a week later,
the virus
came out. COVID-19. I'm like, really? In Wuhan? So I don't know when we're going to go to get her. Hopefully sooner than later once some of this goes away. If it goes away, I don't know. We're just in uncertain times right now. So
yeah. The longer the virus goes on, the longer she waits, though, and that's heartbreaking.
Because they've put all adoptions on hold in China, and so everyone that was just about to leave to go bring their child home got put on hold. And so that's going to delay us in getting her, but the Lord knows all this, and we're just here.
He has a plan. He has a plan for her. We want to be an encouragement, and if you have questions about adoption or foster care or anything like that, we'd love for you to reach out to us. We live on an old farmhouse on about 2 acres of land, and we have chickens and ducks and a bunny, and we're about to get goats. I think I got him talked into it.
It's Mother's Day, so she wants me to build a fence for Mother's Day.
Yeah, I want a fence for baby goats. So just follow along and see what God has done in our family and how we survive, really.
We survived barely.
Bye.
Bye, guys.